Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jeff and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and we are playing Humans today. As for Humans, this deck actually comes from Scotsman, one of my viewers. I actually was on today earlier and I had a bunch of people hop on and wanted to play. I ended up playing with like 4 people, and I usually just have my busy notification here on, like, and I don't see when people are on necessarily, but I had it off every time that an update happens. It's off, and all of a sudden a bunch of people challenged me, and it was really fun to actually play against you guys and realize that when this is off, you guys are actually friends. Anyway, so I'll have to do that a little bit more often. Let me know if you guys would like to see that a little bit more as well. But anyway, General Kudrow and Hero Precinct 1 is kind of the main reasons to be playing this deck. Hero Precinct 1, it's the Esper Hero deck. We've seen this one before, playing a bunch of multicolored stuff. And all of the humans that we got, or the 2 humans that we're really using in this from Ikoria here, General Kudrow of Drannith and General's Enforcer, which makes General Kudrow indestructible, pumps all of our humans, which giving all of our Hero Precinct 1 humans +1/+1, making them all 2/2s, is a really good way to just close out the game and kind of tempo them out here with this deck. So we get Hero Precinct out, and then we start just putting out good creatures, you know, General Kudrow, General's Enforcer, whatever we need to start putting things out into the battlefield, and go wide here and start swinging in for value. The cool interesting thing that we get to do with this deck versus the typical Esper heroes, instead of just playing control, I know we're still playing Teferi Time Rattler, but it's because it's really good. And again, this isn't my build. You can blame Scotsman. Just kidding. But I do think that it just overall, this deck just works really well. Honestly, I've not tested it besides it playing against it, and so I'm actually excited to see how it actually plays out here. So there is a few things that I think are in here that are more based off of what meta's doing at the time, and so like Dovin's Veto in here, I think it's because Wilderness Reclamation is a deck that you're going to be running into pretty often. I just reset with the new tier system. I've not really tried ranking that much, and so I probably will not be running into that as much, so I may end up changing this out as I go along today, just kind of tweaking it here and there. That's the best way to do best of 1 type of stuff. And I love on Aether Hub they actually started changing up best of 1 decks and best of 3 decks on there as well. And so I typically build all best of 1 type of decks, but this deck does have a sideboard. It's built for best of 3. I'm going to be playing it best of 1, and then maybe I'll put this deck list up down below, but then I'll probably be tweaking it as I go through for gameplay. So you see a couple things here and there that are different, that's why. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump to the gameplay, see how this one does for us, and wish me luck. All right, I like the double General's Enforcer. I like Kaya's Oath of Kaya. Kaya's Wrath might be useful here. If we find, we only have 1 legendary human, but General's Enforcer in general is still a good card. So we're going to keep this. We'd love to find a hero. I'm not sure how aggressively I should be mulliganing with this deck, where it's kind of tempo-y. We want to have as many cards in interaction as we can in our hand. All right, General's Enforcer will be a good blocker here, so that's nice. Ooh, Thought Erasure. Do I just put out a blocker, or do I go for Thought Erasure? I think that what we're going to do is get out General's Enforcer just as a blocker here. I'll probably hold back the other one because I'm intending to Kaya's Wrath before long. We have Thought Erasure to maybe go digging for lands if we can keep them off for a little bit here. Another Knigget. That's a lot of knights. Alrighty then. Just a little bit terrifying. Alright, so we find the other black mana. So they probably go for a really big hit next turn. I don't think that we can do much about that. I think that we shock this in Thought Erasure. I don't think that they're going to also play anything other than this. This mutates for 3, but if they want to spend their mana doing that for the next turn, that's kind of fine with us. Use it Death Touch. So let's just go ahead and get rid of the Batra. 5th land could be pretty nice to hit. We don't really need anything else though. Like our most expensive spell in this deck is 5 mana. So let's just say no attacks past the turn. General's Enforcer's ability will be pretty nice as well. But yeah, I'm assuming they're going to swing in. They're going to pump one of them, just start getting counters onto these guys. If they pump the one that's blocking here, that's actually almost better for us. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We'll definitely take 2. We're losing this guy anyway, right? Alright, so Kaya's Wrath. Wipe the board. This is a 3/3, so Oath of Kaya will come down and be fine. So I think this is the Death Touch pingage deck. Probably. Let's just Oath of Kaya this turn. Pass the turn. We do need to find like actual finishers, actual ways to win this game. No +1/+1 counter. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alrighty then. The odds of that are so slim, but I feel like it happens every time. Alright, let's go for... We go for Thought Erasure. Dovin's Veto can hit a few things. I'm not sure how many non-creatures they'll have. We can start creating blockers every turn. Just a 1/1. We Thought Erasure here. We can at least go digging through our deck a little bit more. Even if it's a land, like the Surveil might be worthwhile. I don't feel like... We've not seen anything that Dovin Veto can actually counter because it's only non-creature spells. So let's go for the Thought Erasure. Alright, Porcupirate's actually pretty good to hit there. I don't think we want more lands right now. We need interaction. Action, interaction. I think Teferi is probably like the best thing just to be able to bounce this. Another board wipe would be nice. Alright, no blocks. Getting an indestructible dude would be pretty cool. I don't think we can play the hero first. Let's go ahead and kill this giant, gain some life back, slow the game down. I'll go ahead and swing in. Down to 16 past the turn. Are they going to keep top decking good things? I don't know about you guys, but the mix matching of basic lands just throws me off a little bit, you know? Dire Tactics, alright. What does it say? If I control a human, right? Alright, here, Precinct 1. Dire Tactics. I could have waited. That is an instant speed spell, but just in case, I don't know. I'd rather get rid of it rather than them get a cheaper spell to mutate. Let's go ahead and attack in. Delete Guard Mage. And yeah, this... Now I'm feeling like we're in really good shape. Yeah, opponent gives it up. Not too shabby at all. Up against Zafanda. Bring it on, Zafanda. That's a sweet name. No black mana. We're on the play, which means our 3-drops are looking a little bit better if we hit lands. We have lots of 2-drops in the deck as well. I think that we mulligan here. I guarantee 2-drops a little bit better. But again, we can only play so many cards here. I don't think I want to mulligan for less than this though, so we'll keep this, drop. I guess Thought Erasure. If we can't really hit it on turn 2, it's really not as good. I mean, that's not true. Thought Erasure is good in a lot of different instances. I just feel like I'm going to want to be playing a little bit more defensively rather than aggressively, and Thought Erasure is a bit more of an aggressive attack. To an extent, I know. Whatever. All right. Grab a planes, pass the turn. Be able to play out Hero of Precinct 1, and hopefully we can keep it alive for a while. Kaya's Wrath. No black mana, though. I think that my luck of just always drawing a 2-land hand is an issue. This deck doesn't need that many lands. I actually haven't checked to see how many Scotsmen put into it. Alright, please black mana for the Oath of Kaya. There we go. Dig it. General Kudro could also be pretty nice here, but I think that just getting rid of Priest of Forgotten Gods is our best play. It's always the worst thing ever. I like getting rid of the worst things ever. All right, worst case scenario here is that they play Witch's Oven, steal this guy, kill it, and then we can hopefully, like, I guess we're still a few turns from Kaya's Wrath, but General Kudro will be nice next turn. It's all good. Witch's Oven, claim the Firstborn. Seriously, man, I hate that I can always call it, you know? Oh, box. People just always have it, and I don't. I guess it's not true. I found the land for the Kaya. I think it's General's Enforcer, then into Kudro. Pass the turn. And that's probably the best draw if we're not finding a Kaya's Wrath there. Or finding lands, I mean. College and Familiar. Okay. Ooh, another hero. So nice thing about General Kudro is I get to start exiling things from the graveyards. It doesn't really work with College and Familiar too well. Going wide might be our best chance of actually winning the game. Kaya's Wrath and keeping General Kudro on the battlefield's not too bad either, though. And we're a ways away from being able to do that, though. I don't know. Let's go ahead and grab. Take out the Priest. I'm assuming they're probably playing Luris just in the main board as well. Like, it's just a good card. Swinging with the Human. And they just draw so many cards with this Midnight Reaper. Yeah. Once we find land, we can actually just start holding up mana to exile the Cauldron Familiar, so that's not too shabby. All right, how many things do they get to sack here? As long as General Enforcer stays alive, we should be okay. We have a good indestructible blocker. Yeah, this is the thing I'm running into, is I feel like Dovin's Veto is really good in some matchups and not in others, and running 4 of in the main deck is a little bit awkward to me just because of how many heavily creature decks there are right now. So we may change out the Dovin's Veto. They probably just kill this, or we end up sacking it. We just have not drawn well. We really have to hit land. I could Thought Erasure, get rid of something. Hero Precinct 1 can do some pretty cool things as well. With General Kudro a bit. I don't know. Well, let's just go Thought Erasure. Man. Yeah. Need to hit the land. This one's probably over. I think that we're just too far behind now. Priest of Forgotten Gods, they just, with Midnight Reaper, Cauldron Familiar going, draw an extra card every turn. It's pretty good. Deal damage every turn. Draw 2 cards, 3 cards. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on that we are just not keeping up with. If we had hit lands and we were close to the Kaya's Wrath to reset the board here, I would stay in it. But I think right now there's just no way that we actually come back from this. So we're done here. Up against Hippopononymous. Yeah, this looks like a pretty good hand. Good removal with General's Enforcer. General's Enforcer is a pretty decent turn 2 play as well. Opponent's mulliganing aggressively, down to 5 cards already. dig the lands or the card backs. Mine's better. I actually got a bunch of new ones. I just keep forgetting to change my default. But I mean, this is a good default. What's your guys' favorite card back? That's my question to you today. Someone needs to keep track of how many questions I ask per day. Alright, General's Enforcer. Pass the turn. Alright, the land to get to Elite Guard Mage is really nice as well. Dude, Elite Guard Mage is just a really good card. Dude, I keep thinking of the new vampire that you deal damage equal to life total. Alright, so gonna be doing some mutate shenanigans. So we need to hold up the dire tactics. Do I kill it now and just not let them get stuff out into the battlefield? Or do I wait? Alright, they're actually, I wasn't sure if they're actually debating on blocking or not. They probably just took a break for a moment. Alright, pass the turn. I think that what we do is we wait until the mutate creature actually lands. At 3 mana, there's not a ton of busted things they can play. I shouldn't say things like that. I know everything's going to go downhill from here because I said that. Alright, see, that's fine. That's a good one. We'll get a 2-for-1 here now. Have a response to this? Either they're holding up full control. Alright, we'll go ahead and just get this now. You get to gain some life, that's fine. We get the 2-for-1. Attack in. No creatures in the graveyard, so General's Enforcer's ability doesn't help too much. Draw some cards. Time Wipe is kind of nice. So I like the Time Wipe here because with General Enforcers on the battlefield, we can have a General Kudro and keep it alive. And so the Time Wipe is nice to bring back an Elite Guard Mage or Hero of Precinct 1. We get to reset the board and still keep the engine in hand at least. And that is pretty nice. Dude, these Dire Tactics are feeling great. If we had drawn these Dire Tactics in our last matchup, I would have felt like we're in much better position. I think we can play that tapped. I don't think we're in a hurry necessarily right now. If they're just playing mutate creatures, we have a great hand against this. They pass the turn. At the same time, like, demoralizing them might have actually given us the win there. Alright, so we can't let that actually trigger. So Suspicious Strix comes out as a 6/6. Ooh, General Kudro. Alright, do we let them have a chance to hit that, or do we just go Time Wipe here? So attack in with Guard Mage. I think that we just go for the Time Wipe. Again, it's all about the demoralization. With Mutate, it only helps if you have lots of creatures out. And so they're more likely to scoop now. I mean, I feel bad saying that. Like, we just want them to feel terrible about themselves. But yeah, that's how it is. So General Kudro. Yep, exile that. Elite Guard Mage. I mean, this deck is never down and out, though. Dude, I'd love to draw something that's not lands. Based off how the last game went, I'm kind of surprised how this one's going. The last two. We got the gold, though, so that's nice. Have Warden, create some tokens. That's fine. This is no longer indestructible, so they'll probably Okay, yeah. Doesn't swing in. Attack in here. Down to 5. I mean, they have a decent amount of life gain available to them. We'd have to double block with creatures that we want to keep alive to have a shot here. Yeah, we'll play lands out. I mean, with I was gonna say with Dire General's Enforcer, we could actually start exiling things, but it's only if it's creatures. We've exiled all of their stuff. Yeah, this is again just like the difference in having Dire Tactics versus Dovin's Veto, which I've not made the changes yet in this deck. I might make them after this. Two of these guys, all right. All of the lands in the world. All right, we'll swing in with Guard Mage. Pass the turn. How many lands has this been? We've even drawn a few cards extra. 42, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands. So we've drawn 50% lands, basically. A little bit more than that. 55% of our draws, I think, or something like that. Oh, come on, deck. Dude, and they have been drawing so well. With no card draw, they've shuffled a little bit, I guess, here and there. Yeah, I guess I should have held up the, I don't know. Swinging with a 6/6 lifelinker. We probably would kill that, but I'm not sure how we win after the fact there. Right, create a 2/2. I did forget that we can kill 2 humans. Is this a human? To kill that as well. I forgot about General Kudro's ability, honestly. I think now we wait till Castle Ardenville for the next turn. Alright, Elite Guard Mage. Sack and sack. Kill the Suspicious Strix. Swing in with Guard Mage. Takes it to 3. This tap, pass the turn. They've got to draw dead at some point, right? I was going to say, the amount of stuff that they hit off the Suspicious Strix as well is ridiculous. Mutate is a lot more powerful than I think, than I even think it is sometimes still. Artapin's Carnivorous. Bring it on, Carnivorous. And yeah, we'll keep this. Hero into Kudro. We get the blue mana here. Pass the turn. Blue mana. All right, make sure I pick the right one there. Okay, go hero. Pass the turn. This General Kudro coming out with Hero Precinct 1 puts so much power on the battlefield that if they can't interact with it, it's a lot of damage. Thassa's Oracle right away. Okay. There's a lot of different things this could be. It could actually be a mill deck. It could be a blink deck. Like the Thassa blink deck is probably back now. Down to 17, past the turn. Yeah, this is Thassa Blink. So I think that we Dire Tactics just to, let's see here. We get in for a really big hit, and we get to deal with their stuff a little bit, so... And we have all of our board wipes in our hand. And I don't really want to use them with this where we're at, so... I guess we'll Dire Tactics there, swing in, try to stay aggressive. We kind of just hope that they don't have much after the fact here. Down to 11 and pass the turn. I don't think I'm going to crack this Wheel Passage until next turn, trying to actually find a land. Man. Links to Elirios. Maybe we do just want action here. Like Elite Guard Mage might be the best thing. Grab a swamp. So even Doan's Veto doesn't hit this. Like I do think that we just need to be playing... There we go, Elite Guard Mage. Ask and ye shall receive, my friends. Ooh, and Teferi. Not bad at all. Alright, swinging with these guys. They probably do just trade off there. This is power 4 greater, right? Yeah, so that's fine. Passing the turn. It could be playing like something like Teferi's Time Twist. I'm not sure how many counter spells they'll actually have. Let's go Teferi. So what do we bounce? We could bounce Thassa, slow them down a little bit. We could also just bounce the Reflection, swing in, hope that they don't have any kind of flash spell, try to get as much damage as we can. That's probably the best play. Here we go. It's the most aggressive play, which I think aggressive right now is what we're going for. Swing in. Hope that this isn't anything with flash. Down to 0. Wow, okay. I really thought they had something else there to slow it down, like either a way to blink Elirios, but sometimes just going aggressive is all it takes. Up against Kurohitsuki, and we have some good 2-drops. We're going to keep this. A lot of good 2-drops and all of our colors. I love it. Got this Shrine tap, pass the turn. Into Hero, General's Enforcer, or whatever we want to do. Ooh. Let's hope they don't have the Dire Tactics. I guess this can't really play it. So this is the Lurrus Knights deck. The new version. Honestly, the deck was good enough even without Lurrus. Like, now they're probably just running Ember Cleave or some busted thing like that. And maybe like 2 copies of Lurrus in the main deck. Like, honestly, that's probably how I would run it. Alright, no blocks. Take our beats. General Cujo is also nice. I think that we do go for Dire Tactics, though. Hit the Worthy Knight, swing in, have a blocker up. And Fabled Passage, pass the turn up. So probably Enforcer next turn. Hopefully we hit land so we can hold up Veto as well. I do think this deck will be running some... Dude, after the ban, I have no clue how much stuff changes. We need more black and white, so let's see, more black mana. Sure. Elite Guard Mage also isn't a bad plan here. Now that they have a flyer. See, General Cujo lets us swing in. I'd love to hit a land off of this and just be able to play both of these guys. So let's go for that. there you go, folks. They know attacks past the turn. Just outvalue them like crazy pants. They are probably going to be playing things like Embercleave, though, and so we do have to be afraid. Very afraid. And Corpse Knight. Venerable Knight. They had the nut draw right at the stage. That was a sweet play. Corpse Knight, Knight of the Legion Legion. Fun stuff going on there. Alright, pay 2. General's Enforcer. We know they're just going for creatures on the next turn. No reason to hold up Dovin's Veto. We'll start playing out our big stuffs. Yeah, swing. They're down to 14. That's not a very high life total with this big of a board. They take it all. Wow. Okay, down to 17. We have an indestructible blocker and big blockers. One card left in hand. So they can play out Knight of the Even Legion, but they don't actually get to activate its ability. I feel like that's still the right play, though. Maybe they have something else with black mana in hand. Feels like a black mana type of thing they were doing there. Alright, gets a swing in. We block here. Alright, swing in. Swing. So if they have an Embercleave, do we die? Probably to like the Evenly Nightly Legion? Yeah, okay. We could have also swung with like the General's Enforcer, force them to block with so many things that they definitely won't have a chance coming back, and then we could also bring something back from the graveyard. So I think that we had them there. Just wasn't sure if it was that turn or the next turn. Alright, up against Neoing. We have Enforcer into Kudro. We're going to keep this. We don't have any blue mana. And again, these Dublin's Vetoes are just feeling dead in hand. I mean, I'm going to run up against a deck that this is going to feel great against. It's probably going to be this one. I'm not going to have any blue mana. So I think that you don't run a 0 amount of Dublin's Vetoes, but I think that we should probably cut a couple of them. I know I said I was going to make changes to it, and I probably won't, actually. Ooh, Teamer Adventures. Ooh. You know what I'm excited for? The card that says you can't... I was going to say they can't cast stuff from wherever, but that doesn't actually work here. There is the... Does Grafdigger's Cage shut down Adventures as well? I can't remember. I think it just says Library and Graveyard they can't enter from. Alright, General Kudro, come out to play. Be indestructible and such. We're out of the way of Stomp. I'd love to hold up Dovin's Veto for the Lucky Clovers. That's the worst thing here. It could bounce Enforcer. I've been really impressed with this deck so far, though. Just like how consistent I feel like it's been. Bounces. That's actually, I think, a good play. Slow us down. Get rid of an indestructible blocker. We have to spend 3 mana instead of 2 to play this again. Yeah, this is a deck or a game where Dovin's Veto might be pretty nice, but now we can't do much about it. Bloodstruck Beast, draw some cards. We have to Othokaya this guy now. Or hopefully find a way to board wipe soon. That's not blue mana. Or board wipe. Alright, kill the innkeeper. It's not great. We're going to take a massive hit from this Love Shop Beast. But letting him just draw cards, I think, is where they really outvalue us. We kind of hope that they just don't have Lucky Clovers, don't have these guys. And we should be able to pull it off then. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. No blocks. Take 5. Down to 15. That's a better sign there. Gonna double stomp the Enforcer. Oh, all right. Well, let's hope that they just play out a bunch of creatures here. They probably will with the Edgewall Innkeeper. Draw 2 cards. Without 2 giants, and then hopefully we can find a Hollowed Fountain would be the best draw. For Kaya's Wrath. So if we really are looking for the Hollowed Fountain, I think we just block for life total a little bit higher. I mean, that kind of shows them what we've got, though. I still don't think they can do much without... They've got to be building their board and drawing cards. They can maybe now hold up some mana. Okay. Seriously? Now we find that land. Alright, I see how this is. We could play out Teferi, maybe gain some extra life with Oath of Kaya. Target Lovestruck Beast, draw a card. The Guard Mage isn't a terrible play either. Try to dig into some stuff. Let's go Elite Guard Mage, I think. 1 draw away from... I mean, we kind of got a Hollowed Fountain. Blue and white mana. We'll take it. I'm not going to complain too much. It's going to end up working out just fine. Alright, so I think we block here. Let's go. Lots of creatures played. That's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Okay, alright. Well, the Plains, play Kaya's Wrath. Alright. And now I think with our hand we have a shot. Teferi Time Raveler will be really nice against them. Being able to hold up Dovin's Veto against a lot of the other stuff they're doing is cool. I'd like another instant speed board wipe to be able to get them again. Ah, they got the Lucky Clover out. Dude, the sequencing of this has just been so bad. We've had the Dovin's Veto the whole time. Just can't interact with it very well. And we can't really interact with the copies now at all. Alright, go to Teferi Time Raveler. We probably just bounce the Lucky Clover.
Sorry, I'm late.
Let them kill Teferi. I think that's what we've got to do. Get Oath of Kaya, but then I don't get the Dovin's Veto, the Lucky Clover. Let's just make sure we get the Lucky Clover. Losing Teferi is not great, but I mean, if we can keep them off of any real value, I prefer that. Alright, we get to gain 2, deal 2. I mean, Teferi did work there. I'm fine with that. Alright, Hero of Precinct 1. General's Enforcer, something awesome. Dire Tactics, that's not bad either. Really not. Do I go for the other Oath of Kaya here now? This is whenever it's targeted by what? Becomes target of a spell. So Oath of Kaya doesn't actually trigger it. So I guess we just go Oath of Kaya. Can we actually deal with Brazen Borrower though? I mean, I guess, yeah. Now we're tapped down. Alrighty, pass the turn. Brazen Borrower. What else you got? Lucky Clover. They're gonna have another giant stomp us. Down to 14. Dude, this is not the time to be drawing lands. We're barely winning the race. I'm not sure if we're winning the race to lethal, actually. We'll just pass the turn. And there's no reason to show that we have more lands. I'd rather show more interaction. Or pretend that we've got more going on here. For the love. Alright, Lucky Clover. We'll go ahead and Dire Tactics this. I mean, we have to draw good stuff to have a shot in this game no matter what. I don't think that using this now changes much. If anything, we're just hoping they keep drawing dead and we can kill them. Or we start doing well. Brazen Borrower doesn't bounce your own stuff back. Giving us back General Kudro and Oath of Kaya is actually not bad. So if they have Brazen Borrower, that's kind of fine right now. Incubation. Bay of Wishes is the thing we were worried most about. Well, crap. Dang it. Oh, this is bad. Alright, if we can find General's Enforcer off the top. So they'll probably have a Chandra. What else would they have? Maybe like Storm's Wrath. I mean, they get 3 cards here. Yeah, so Chandra comes out. If we find General's Enforcer, we can kind of dodge that. What else can we find? Once in Future. Yep. I always forget what this actually does. Return target instant Thought Erasure. Ooh, Thought Erasure is actually not the worst. Target card from a graveyard to hand. So Chandra's gonna come back no matter what. I guess we slow it down. Dude, we've just drawn way too many dead cards. Yep, no attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Edgewall Innkeeper. Oh man, what do we do now? I think this game's probably just over. We haven't found any way of actually finishing the game. And honestly, I think that's one issue that this deck has, is that it doesn't have like a really strong finisher outside of Hero Precinct 1. And there's a lot of things that answer here of Precinct 1 right now in the format. General Kudro kind of helps with it to where it's a bit more aggressive. We do have ways to kind of counter and interact the, Deafening Clarion, stuff like that. But typically it's going to be a little bit harder to play that. Like, you get Deafening Clarion on turn 3 or on turn 4. And it's really hard to play out here of Precinct 1 and hold that up, I feel like. At least consistently in this deck. With them getting more cards from sideboard, I think we're done here. All right, so overall, I think this deck is actually pretty powerful. It is really good. Again, I think that the numbers might need to change based off the meta. So if you guys want to check that out, I would probably go down to like 2 copies of Dovin's Veto. Maybe just a bit more interaction with, I don't know, the Dire Tactics felt really strong. So I really don't know what the perfect cards are for this. It's probably something like Mortifiery Time Revelers, which just disgusts me saying that, but it's probably the truth. Anyway, but this deck did do 4 out of 6 games, and so pretty good odds there. And I felt like the deck, the games that we lost, it was part of just like bad draws. It was part of just not having the right kind of stuff in the deck to necessarily consistently be interacting with those decks. But I mean, you're not going to be able to play well against every deck. So overall, I think this is powerful. I think it's a good deck. I really enjoy what Scotsman's did with it. So if you guys enjoy it, please leave a like and subscribe and check out the deck down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.